Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and today we're going to talk about something that just happened recently. This is a January 24th, 2022 article, and we're in trouble. U.S. envoy urges faster action on climate goals, and that came from a meeting that the United States Chamber of Commerce held with officials from Egypt. It was called Building Momentum to UN COP27 because the UN is going to be having another meeting screaming for solutions that they haven't allowed since the 90s. And who did the United Nations have talking at this meeting? Well, that would be, of course, John Kerry. Of course, why wouldn't they? Now, I just did a video about the United States Chamber of Commerce about a month ago, and how they hold back America from leading the world environmentally. I had a half-hour meeting with their VP of Sustainability, Chuck Chavowitz, Chavowitz, something like that. Definitely Chuck. And, when Chuck just couldn't be bothered, then I sent emails. It's in this video here to all his superiors at the chamber, and surprise, surprise, like most everyone else for 28 years, no one even bothered to reply to me. Why? We don't care about the environment, Eileen. But here they are, out pretending that they do care. And they brought in John Kerry, who on January 20th, 2021, was sworn in as the nation's first special presidential envoy for climate, and he's going to have a seat at every table around the world as he combats the climate crisis to meet the threat we face. Except John Kerry has been refusing the solutions the world needs since he was Secretary of State. He was the 68th Secretary of State under Barack, and he just can't be bothered with solutions. I think I communicated with him, tried to. Of course, you're never going to get to him. You're never going to get past the low level people at the Secretary of State. But I'm sure my correspondence with them was their cumbersome form that, when people make you use forms, it's just, it takes so much. Already I don't have time every single day to hit up every single fraudulent environmental voice out there that won't allow solutions. But I did hit up John Kerry, and actually, when it was shortly after I started telling them that, according to them, and it's the subtitle of my book, Greenhouse Gases Are Weapons of Mass Destruction, because according to them, that's what they are. Every environmental expert out there, oh my God, all of these bad things happen, massive death, destruction, and complete devastation because of this. So that means that they are weapons of mass destruction. And the people that won't allow solutions are the reason we have these weapons. So I would use that phrase to the State Department, and all of a sudden I started hearing them say it in like newscasts. I'm like, wait a sec, they stole that from me. Yeah, I swear to God. Anyways, John Kerry, do I have direct communication with him? No, I don't think so, because I had to go through form letters, I'm sure, and it is just so cumbersome to try to get to these people. But considering he's working for the Barack.3 White House, and Barack has been opposed to solutions the world needs since Barack's first presidential campaign, believe me, John Kerry is never going to allow solutions, the just like the U.S. Chamber of Commerce isn't. They just won't. I mean, what is the matter with ending global environmental illiteracy? When there is nothing else or better to try, and this is the absolute best that is on the table, there is absolutely no reason other than Archie Bunker staunchness that they won't, because they don't care, allow solutions. What is the matter with ending global environmental illiteracy, ending our disposable society from homes to fast food to stadium concessions to packaging and transportation packaging? We need real solutions, gaining individual cooperation, leadership by example with John, and how many homes and how many private planes. I mean, in hemp, right? I mean, I have begged the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to lead the world with hemp. Will they? No. And it can take care of so much of our environmental problems. Had this been done decades ago, or even when John was in the State House, when he was working for Barack, who won't allow solutions, we would be well on our way to reversing all of the negative consequences we've done and be on our way to getting us on a sustainable path. But, they can't be bothered. But John is out there now telling people we're in trouble. He hopes everybody understands that. Yeah. Yes. He's concerned about the recent uptick in use of coal globally, and they don't have carbon capture technology. Well, you know what? If we just got people to use electricity responsibly, we wouldn't have to be so worried if they have the carbon capture technology. We really wouldn't have to. And they just um, they just won't allow solutions like everybody else won't. But that didn't stop them from having this meeting. Oh, Kerry says here, yeah, a huge amount of good came out of the COP26, except it didn't. That's like saying, oh, the Paris Agreement, that was going to be a solution. No, it wasn't, and it never will be. Nothing good came out of COP26. They won't allow solutions. No one will. And they just, he's still talking about coal plants here, and it's most countries have the ability to deploy very significant additional amounts of renewable energy, and they're not choosing to do that. All he's talking about is energy here. And where's energy on the environmental educator agenda? Last, number 6, because these first 5 can be implemented immediately and would produce massive immediate betterment. Not, someday in the future. Yeah, oh my God, someday in the future. They don't care about solutions. They're out here yapping, 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 and they don't care. And so after this meeting, that was the 24th, on the 25th, this is the president of the chamber. These are all the top people of the chamber, which here's all the leaders: Suzanne Clark and that N. Bradley, Myron Brilliant. He's the head of international affairs. So, of course, I hit him up. I hit up all of these people. All of these people here are on that distribution that I just showed you. They're the top leadership at the United States Chamber of Commerce, and not one of them can be bothered to care. Yet they pretend, they go out and they have these meetings and they pretend. You will see all of these names that you just saw. They are on that picture that I just saw you of all the people. Oh, who else is on here? Oh, of course, Project Veritas. Because if they would do their job, we could get these people exposed, and then we could get solutions implemented or shut them up, one of the two. But Project Veritas is as uninterested in doing their job as everybody else. Project Veritas, I've done many videos about them. They just give the entire world a pass. And, I tell the chamber, the more that you're calling for has been on your desk since September 2019, when I had a half-hour meeting with Chuck, and this is what the world needs. I'm like, I actually just did a video about that. And then I give them this article here from John. I'm available to get to work immediately, and the world needs it. And I will never hear from these people. I emailed them again on the 26th. I just copied the email because I just don't have time every single night to write every single person who won't allow solutions. But this is all the same people right here, Project Veritas. Yep. And none of these people can care, but they're out pretending like they do, holding meetings. Oh my God, ahead of the COP27, and the United Nations has been refusing solutions since the 90s. they can't be bothered. Yeah, I can't believe I don't think I put them on this distribution here, but they're on endless of my distributions. and they've never once replied, and they never will reply because they won't allow solutions. But here's John Kerry and the United States Chamber out there, giving themselves press, pretending like they care about things that they don't. And unfortunately, we don't have any press in this country. No press will tell you the truth. No press will tell you that they're frauds. No press will tell you they are holding up the light years best environmental education and agenda on the planet. Not even, yes, everybody's beloved Project Veritas, which is project verification. I tell Project Verification, that's what they're all the time. James O'Keefe constantly says, well, we've all suspected. We told you what we all suspected. Right here, this lady told us nothing. She just told us that, COVID is listed in many cases of where people were admitted to hospitals where they didn't even have COVID. It was a gunshot wound. It was a secondary thing. This is something that was headlines like a year ago. I mean, a year ago in the alternative media, all the headlines were about how the COVID counts are just astronomical and wrong because they are counting everything that isn't anything related to COVID. They're not in the hospital because of COVID. That maybe they don't even have COVID. But I mean, this exposed absolutely nothing. But here is someone that this lady's, donation fund, and this lady here, Connie, gave her $1,000 because, oh my God, she's so brave to be a whistleblower to tell us absolutely nothing. Project Veritas, for the most part, exposes nothing. And this lady wrote, thank you for exposing what we all knew was going on, but needed the data and witness to solidify. Right? So there's no exposing there because we all knew what was going on. She verified what was going on, didn't expose. Expose would be if no one was talking about this and suddenly somebody came out here with proof. This lady came out here with oh my God, imagine that, a little bit of proof. And because Project Veritas, who this man who makes endless fraudulent statements, James O'Keefe, says that they don't have an agenda, yet they are out specifically looking for medical data these days. And imagine that they put this nurse on while for over 2.5 years now, Project Veritas has refused to tell you that all environmental voices are preventing solutions frauds. And if they would do their job, then we wouldn't have to listen to people like John Kerry and these frauds at the United Nations. But, here's Project Veritas. This is an anonymous email that I got in December 29th, 2021. Please stop calling! ! They just delete my messages because they're not going to do their job. We expose everybody, right? No, they don't. That's another one of their fraudulent statements. And however much Project Veritas continues to do retractions because their lawyers go out and make people correct wrong things that they state about Project Veritas, their lawyers will never come after me for stating everything that Project Veritas says and does that is fraudulent because I'm right. Okay? And never forget that regardless of their representation of themselves about what saints they are and about how much Project Veritas cares and they expose everybody, here is
today,
this
Tuesday, January 11th,
phone message to me.
6:10 a.m. from 914
right here.
536 123. Duration 10 seconds.
This is Project Veritas. Every time we see your phone number, we just delete your message. So please stop wasting your time. Okay? And do get a life.
End of message.
Yeah, what was that, Charter?
Today,
Just delete your message. So please stop wasting your time. Okay? And do get a life.
And do get a life. Do not bother Project Veritas with the one environmental truth there is out there, because Project Veritas can't be bothered. It's not their agenda. They're not going to expose it. They're going to have the world continue to be subject to listening to frauds like John Kerry and the United States Chamber and Gore and Greta, and they're going to allow you to continue to be robbed blind by all of the fraudulent environmental nonprofits that are out there, because they simply won't do their job. And that is, and now both of these are anonymous. There's no name. There's no name. There's no title attached to, hey, this is so-and-so from Project Veritas, and I'm telling you to stop calling us. So you know what? Why don't we call them? Okay. So here is this anonymous number.
please leave a message.
They don't tell you who, hey.
Please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, anonymous Project Veritas insulting lady, that maybe Project Veritas needs a better screener so they could actually, start doing stories where they actually expose something, not tell us what we already know. Yeah, I'm doing another video, and at the end of every video that I use your anonymous phone text to me, and hey, just to let you know, every sentence doesn't end with an exclamation point, just to let you know. You didn't seem to take English. And, your phone message, incredibly insulting, and just proving that Project Veritas has absolutely nothing to do with what they fraudulently misrepresent themselves as. So thank you, because I let the world know it on the end of many of my videos. So now I'm going to go call your president and your media and let them know, because right now I'm doing a thing about John Kerry and the U.S. Chamber are screaming for solutions. And guess what? You're on emails to them, proving again that the last thing in the world they care about are solutions. Just like the last thing Project Verification cares about is exposing the one truth there is environmentally. Even though you have no agenda, got to go talk to your president. So that was that horrible lady that called. She is is she not nasty? Is she just obnoxious and not nasty? She's just a horrible person. But that is what Project Veritas employs. Just horrible, horrible people like that thing. You can't even call her a lady, that thing. That embarrassment to the human race. So let's just leave a short message.
Thank you for calling Project Veritas.
Yeah.
With the mission of investigating and exposing corruption.
Oh, and exposing corruption, fraud.
Ethical and transparent society.
Except environmentally.
Press 1.
Yeah.
To the office of the president, press 2.
Okay, so we're going to the president, but again, being so secretive, they don't tell you who it is you're contacting because they are just so secretive there. So let's wait to get connected.
Please record your voice message at the tone. When you are finished, please hang up or touch pound for more options.
Hey, Project Veritas president, this is Eileen, the environmental educator. And at the end of videos where I expose, environmental frauds that you won't, and I let the people know if you would do your job, they wouldn't have to be subject to these frauds anymore or be robbed blind by all of the nonprofits. I use that absolutely horrendous anonymous text that this 914-653-6123 sent me anonymously, just telling me to stop bothering you. We don't expose people. The environment's not our agenda. Okay? And then I play the soundbite of that horrendous, if you can call her a lady, a female, just an embarrassment to the human race and to your organization. Her message telling me that when my number is seen, my messages get deleted because the snowflakes at Project Veritas won't be reminded of the job they won't do. And then, of course, insulting me, telling me to get a life. So I put you on distribution with the United States Chamber and John Kerry, who just had a meeting announcing we're not doing enough. We've got to do more. Oh my God, we need solutions. And yet they've been refusing solutions forever now. And of course, that's something you could expose because, like the last person you just had who exposed absolutely nothing. Oh my God, COVID is in medical places where it doesn't belong. That was headlines a year ago. Okay. I even show here one of the donors, somebody gave that lady, that absolute fool who was out there and truly thinks that she did some good in telling us something. The donor put what we all knew was going on. Okay? You exposed nothing. So finally, do your job and finally expose something that the world doesn't know, which is all environmental voices are preventing solutions frauds. So now I got to go call your media department and your president, who, of course, like the rest of you, just can't be bothered to care because is there a decent human being anywhere near Project Veritas? That's what we're truly trying to find out. Certainly no one that is interested in exposing fraud and corruption, just, telling us what we already know, as James O'Keefe endlessly says, what we've all suspected. So, just a reminder, do your job, or why don't you get a new president there who will? Yeah, maybe a new CEO, James O'Keefe, that stupid thing that they did down in Miami. Oh my God, what an embarrassment. James O'Keefe is like a wannabe actor. He just wants to be in front of the camera. And, okay, here we go, calling them again. James O'Keefe, he just wants to be in front of the camera. He just wants to be an actor. So why doesn't he go there? So we're pressing 5 for the office. This is the executive office.
When you are finished, please hang up or touch pound for more options.
Hey, executive office of Project Veritas. This is Eileen Connors, the environmental educator, calling again. And just reminding you that you could actually do a segment where you expose something, that fool that you just had out there with the COVID-19 exposure that exposed nothing. That was information we knew a year ago. Okay? She exposed, like most everything else you do, absolutely nothing. Project verification. She verified what we all already know. So why don't you do your job and actually expose that all environmental voices are preventing solutions frauds? Why don't you finally stand behind Oliver O'Keefe's fraudulent words? Again, I am putting this in endless videos, fraudulent words. And do you know why your lawyer, who makes many people retract things that they say about Project Veritas that aren't true, won't come after me? Because they can't counter that you and James O'Keefe aren't out there making a ton of fraudulent statements. Like, you don't have an agenda. You expose everybody. You don't. So do your job or close your doors, because you're really not doing the world any good, except, having James O'Keefe just be more and more impressed with his not so impressive self. So I gotta go call your media here now. And so yeah, let's just, because the media, they're the people that you call to try to get a statement, and you can't get a statement out of these people because they never respond to your email. They just can't be bothered. They don't have to. James O'Keefe doesn't answer questions. Okay, so we're just going to go straight to media because we don't have time for their yapping that they care about exposing fraud for an ethical and transparent society. If they did their job 2.5 years ago, the whole world would know that everybody environmentally who has a voice out there is a fraud.
Please record your voice message at the tone. When you are finished, please hang up or touch power.
So this is media. Hey, Project Veritas Media. This is Eileen, the environmental educator, finishing up a video that about how the U.S. Chamber of Commerce just, had a meeting with John Kerry, and oh my God, we need environmental solutions, and yet you're on distribution on the emails with them about they won't allow solutions, and yet again, what comes out of Project Veritas? Oh, that's right, crickets, because we're not your agenda. The environment isn't your agenda. But you have no agenda. We've been through this before with you. That's right. James O'Keefe endlessly, fraudulently, I am putting this on video again, stating fraudulently misrepresents Project Veritas, misrepresents himself, your intentions, that you expose everyone, that he wouldn't say anything he wouldn't stand behind. And he makes so many absolute fraudulent statements, and your lawyers go after everybody who prints anything wrong about Project Veritas. And where are they coming after me? Nowhere. Why? Because they can't. Because James O'Keefe makes fraudulent statements misrepresenting Project Veritas, and your reporters out there in the field do the same. So again, the world needs you to do their job. Do your job and expose all environmental voices are preventing solutions frauds. And I'm proving to the world that you are as big a fraud as the United States Chamber of Commerce and John Kerry and Barack and Biden, who John serves under, because you won't do your job just like they won't. So I'm ready to get to work Monday. And that last exposure that you had, your COVID lady, that absolute fool who exposed absolutely nothing, verified, project verification, verified what we already know. Duh. That was headlines a year ago or more, that everything's labeled COVID, and yet it's not. Okay? You're really behind the times. Why don't you finally, for the first time in your existence, expose something the world doesn't know? Okay? So I just hung up there. And that's it, people. So Project Veritas is as big a fraud as John Kerry and the United States Chamber of Commerce and all other environmental voices. And this is the only place you're going to hear this truth. So stay tuned.